Have you ever met someone who doesn't need to say much, but somehow you just feel drawn to them? It's not their looks. It's not their status. It's something invisible, an energy. Carl Jung believed this magnetic pull isn't magic. It's psychology. It's a natural effect of a person who lives in alignment with their true self, the part of us that exists beyond fear, ego, and masks. And today, you'll learn how to awaken it. According to Jung, every person has layers: the persona, the ego, and at the center, the self. Your persona is the mask you wear for the world. Your ego is your conscious mind, what you think you are. But your self is your total being. When you align with yourself, people sense it. It's like your inner energy becomes coherent, and others can feel that harmony. Energy attracts energy. When your inner world is chaotic, you project confusion. When you're centered, you project calm. This is what Jung called psychic resonance, the unconscious communication between two people's energies. People don't fall in love with what you say. They fall in love with how they feel around you. Jung said the most magnetic people are those who face their shadow, the hidden parts of their personality they once rejected. When you deny your shadow, it leaks out through insecurity, jealousy, or arrogance. But when you integrate it, you become whole. Wholeness radiates confidence. And confidence, not performance, is what draws people in. Most people chase validation. They drain their inner power trying to be liked, understood, or admired. But magnetic energy doesn't chase. It centers. Jung wrote, "What you resist persists." The moment you stop needing approval, people start giving it to you. That's the paradox of attraction. Within all of us are two forces, the masculine, active, focused, and the feminine, receptive, intuitive. When one dominates, we feel unbalanced. When both harmonize, we project wholeness. Jung called this process individuation. A balanced person emits a complete magnetic field that others crave, because most people are missing that balance within themselves. Magnetic people are not always loud or expressive. Often they are quiet, but deeply present. Jung believed presence is a spiritual quality. When you are fully in the moment, your unconscious energy aligns. People around you feel grounded, like you carry peace inside you. And that's irresistible in a world addicted to chaos. There's a vibration that can't be faked. Authenticity. When you speak your truth without fear, people trust you instantly. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you live by that, your aura changes. Your eyes soften. Your energy becomes real. And that realness attracts more than perfection ever could. We often confuse magnetism with popularity. But true magnetism has mystery. You don't reveal everything. You don't need to explain your silence. People sense depth in you, something unknown, something worth discovering. And the unconscious mind is always drawn to mystery. Jung taught that every emotion, even anger, fear, or sadness, contains life force. When you suppress emotion, you suppress energy. But when you feel and integrate it consciously, that energy becomes power. Your presence becomes warm, vibrant, and real because you're no longer afraid of your inner world. We communicate far more unconsciously than we realize. Through body language, tone, eye contact, and energy. When you understand yourself deeply, your unconscious becomes clear. People then read you as confident, even if you say nothing. That's Jung's idea of unconscious communication, the silent transmission of being. Every magnetic person has a strong center, a calm core. This doesn't mean they never feel chaos. It means they've learned to return to themselves when chaos arises. Meditation, journaling, solitude, these are tools Jung would call paths to individuation. They connect you back to your center, where your energy recharges. Jung's concept of projection explains why we're drawn to certain people. What you admire in others often reflects a part of you waiting to awaken. And what annoys you in others reveals a part you haven't yet accepted. When you integrate these projections, you stop idolizing or judging and start connecting on a soul level. Magnetic people have strong boundaries, not walls, but awareness. They know when to give and when to step back. Energy flows toward those who protect their peace. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life. Boundaries make you conscious of where your energy leaks and help you reclaim it. People with purpose emit clarity. They don't wander aimlessly. Their energy moves with direction. Jung believed purpose is not found but remembered. When you align your daily actions with your deeper calling, you radiate certainty, and certainty is magnetic. Magnetic relationships happen when two people own their shadows. They don't blame, they reflect. They don't try to change each other. They evolve together. This creates a rare chemistry. Two complete beings connecting from wholeness, not need. People often ask, how do I become magnetic? The answer, stop trying to be anyone else. Self-acceptance creates inner freedom, and freedom has a vibration. It says, I'm enough. When you embody that, people feel safe around you because your energy gives them permission to be themselves. Jung said life is a dance between what we know and what we don't. The most magnetic people are those comfortable in both worlds. Logic and intuition, light and shadow. They move through life like rivers, fluid, alive, unpredictable, and that flow keeps people captivated. In a world obsessed with noise, stillness is power. Magnetic people don't need to prove anything. Their silence speaks louder than words. They've stopped performing and started being, and that authenticity changes the atmosphere wherever they go. Your energy is not built, it's revealed. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you are beneath the noise. Jung believed the journey to the self is the greatest adventure. When you walk that path, when your soul, shadow, and light move as one, you become naturally magnetic. People don't just see you, they feel you. And that feeling is your true power. People feel your vibration before they hear your words. Jung said that the unconscious mind communicates instantly, faster than logic. When your inner world is peaceful, people sense it as warmth. When it's conflicted, they feel tension. That's why real magnetism begins where no one can see, in the silence of your thoughts. Everyone unconsciously seeks wholeness, the feeling of being complete. When you embody that state, you become a mirror of what others crave. They may not understand why, but they feel a home around you. You remind their psyche of the unity they've been missing. That's the soul's attraction, not physical, but archetypal. Jung described archetypes as universal energies, patterns in the collective unconscious. The magnetic person awakens a lover archetype, not in a romantic sense, but as the energy of openness, curiosity, and connection. They radiate an invisible invitation. I see you. I accept you. And that archetypal presence pulls people closer. True magnetism is not built on perfection. It's built on honesty. When you show your humanness, people relax. They see their reflection in you. Vulnerability breaks the illusion of separation. As Jung said, only the wounded healer can heal. When you own your wounds, they become your light. Magnetic people don't react. They respond. They don't let emotion control them, but they also don't suppress them. They hold emotional neutrality, the calm space between reaction and awareness. That balance makes others trust your energy. You become a stable point in a stormy world. In Jung's view, the process of growth is alchemy, turning the lead of the unconscious into the gold of awareness. Every fear, every pain, every doubt is raw material for transformation. The more you transmute darkness into understanding, the brighter your presence becomes. People feel the gold in your energy. Every conversation is more than words. It's two unconscious minds interacting. When you're conscious of your own patterns, you begin to sense others' hidden emotions too. You start feeling people beyond logic. That awareness makes you magnetic, because you understand what most never see. Confidence isn't loudness. It's quiet certainty. It's the subtle knowing that you can handle life. Jung said confidence grows when you integrate your unconscious, when you know the dark and still choose the light. People are drawn to those who've met their darkness and survived it. When you meet someone magnetic, what you're feeling is often your own potential reflected back. They awaken something dormant within you. That's why certain people feel familiar even when you've just met. Your souls are mirroring each other's growth. Behind every blocked energy lies an unhealed inner child. Jung believed our childhood wounds shape our adult behavior. When you're repairing yourself with compassion, patience, and care, you release emotional energy trapped for years. That liberated energy becomes charisma, playfulness, and light. The heart is not just emotion, it's intelligence. When your actions align with your heart's truth, your frequency rises. Jung said that love, in its purest form, is a force of individuation. It unites opposites within us. A loving person radiates coherence, and coherence is magnetism. Masculine energy in Jungian psychology is direction, structure, and awareness. When balanced, it creates safety. People feel drawn to someone who radiates grounded presence because it signals strength without aggression. That calm authority is deeply attractive, both spiritually and emotionally. Feminine energy is fluid, intuitive, and creative. It draws others in through emotional richness and empathy. When expressed without fear, it heals those around it. Magnetic people embody both, the strength of the masculine and the grace of the feminine. And that balance creates harmony others can feel. Whenever you meet someone, energy is exchanged. If you're centered, you give peace. If you're chaotic, you take energy. Jung warned that the unconscious does not lie. You can't fake your vibration. That's why personal alignment is a foundation of attraction. Magnetism grows in detachment. When you stop needing outcomes, your energy becomes light and free. Jung said, the right way to wholeness is full of detours and wrong turns. You don't chase, you trust. And in that trust, everything begins to flow toward you. People feel safe around depth. Someone who's looked into their own darkness and found peace there. That depth can't be performed. It's earned through experience. You suffered, learned, and grown. And now, your presence tells that story without words. Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, a shared field of human energy. When you raise your vibration, you subtly influence everyone around you. Magnetic people don't just attract, they elevate. Their presence uplifts entire rooms because it syncs others to higher energy. Isolation isn't loneliness when you use it for growth. Jung himself spent years in deep introspection, believing solitude connects you to your inner voice. The person who can be alone peacefully becomes unstoppable because their energy no longer depends on others. The final secret isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. Your energy becomes magnetic when your soul is integrated. Your light, your shadow, your masculine, your feminine, your child, your wisdom. This is the state Jung called individuation. You don't pull people toward you. You simply shine so clearly that they can't help but be drawn in. You become the mirror, the calm, the light. That is the essence of magnetic energy. Every soul has its own gravity. When you are scattered, you repel. When you are centered, you attract. Jung believed energy follows awareness. So when your awareness returns to your heart, your mind, your purpose, your energy gathers, and people naturally gravitate toward you. You don't pull them. Your wholeness pulls everything home. There's a kind of power in doing nothing, just being. When you enter a room with calm awareness, your energy expands silently. People unconsciously align with your frequency. That's the alchemy of stillness Jung hinted at. The transformation that happens when consciousness meets the moment fully. We all embody different archetypes at different times. The lover, the warrior, the sage, the creator. Magnetic people learn to flow between them with awareness. They don't become one thing. They become everything. Their flexibility mirrors life itself. And life is the ultimate magnetic force. Words are limited, but energy speaks in infinite languages. When your words, tone, and energy align, communication becomes soulful. Jung said the unconscious speaks in symbols, and the soul recognizes symbols faster than logic. That's why some conversations feel like destiny. You can tell when someone sees you, not just with their eyes, but with their being. Jung believed seeing is a sacred act, to truly witness another person without judgment. When you look from presence, your gaze awakens others. It says, you exist. That's why eye contact with awareness can feel electric. Life isn't meant to be perfectly calm. Jung said chaos is necessary for transformation. The key is not to fear it, but to integrate it. When you can hold your center in chaos, your energy stabilizes others. You become an anchor, and anchors are magnetic in a storm. Even when you rise, your shadow rises with you. It whispers doubts, fears, and temptations. Jung warned that success without self-awareness leads to inflation, the ego mistaking itself for the self. True magnetism is humble. It remembers the dark it came from. That's what keeps your light pure. Gratitude is not an emotion. It's a vibration. When you live in gratitude, you radiate abundance. People feel it. Jung might call it a psychic echo. Your energy reminding others that life is sacred. And that reminder is irresistibly magnetic. Every emotion you carry transfers. If you speak from anxiety, people feel it. If you speak from peace, they breathe easier. Magnetic people are emotionally aware. They manage their inner climate before entering the world. They don't control others. They influence through alignment. Jung described individuation as a battle between the conscious and unconscious, fear and growth. The spiritual warrior doesn't fight others. They master themselves. And in that mastery, they radiate quiet strength. People feel protected in their presence because they've conquered their own chaos. Sometimes, your absence creates more impact than your presence. Jung said withdrawal is a natural phase of inner renewal. When you retreat consciously, your energy resets. You return to the world glowing differently. True magnets know when to step back, because energy grows in silence. Every person you meet reveals a part of you. The ones you admire show your potential. The ones you resist show your pain. When you stop reacting and start reflecting, relationships become sacred mirrors, each one helping you evolve toward your true self. The most magnetic influence is invisible. You don't convince, you embody. Jung said, "There's no coming to consciousness without pain." But once you've walked that path, your very energy becomes leadership. People follow not your words, but your vibration. When you align deeply with yourself, life starts to align with you. Jung called these moments synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that mirror your inner state. They signal that your unconscious and the universe are in dialogue. And when you live in that dialogue, your energy becomes magnetic to miracles. Every awakening feels like a small death, the death of the mask, the persona, the need to perform. Jung said individuation demands the death of illusion. When you let go of who you thought you should be, you awaken who you actually are, and that truth radiates unmistakable power. After the storms of growth comes peace, the quiet joy of simplicity. You rediscover the child within, curious, playful, alive. Jung saw this as a rebirth of the soul. That innocence is magnetic because it's pure presence. A reminder that enlightenment is not escape, it's return. Your voice carries your energy. When your words come from the heart, not ego, people feel the truth. Tone, rhythm, silence, all transmit emotion. Jung said symbols bypass the rational mind. Your voice, when aligned with your soul, becomes a living symbol, a sound that heals. Magnetic people walk the middle path. Not extreme, not rigid, not chaotic. They balance mind and body, thought and feeling, solitude and connection. This is Jung's transcendent function, the bridge between opposites. When you embody it, you radiate harmony, and harmony attracts everything. Real leaders don't dominate, they elevate. Their energy inspires authenticity in others. Jung believed true leadership comes from individuation, from becoming a complete person. When you embody that wholeness, you lead without effort. People align not because you command, but because your energy calls them higher. At the highest level of consciousness, there is no attracting. There is only being. Your frequency becomes pure awareness, free of ego, free of need. Jung called this the realization of the self, the divine spark within every human. When you live from that state, you no longer chase love, power, or peace. You are love, power, and peace. And that is the ultimate magnetic energy.